Hopefully you've watched the first video on setting up the quiz, going through the basics of getting it ready. This video will cover how to add questions. So how I add questions is I use the plus sign over here, which is the add question button. As long as we're over here, we can explore a couple of these other options, which is to import a question. This is to add a title and description. This is you could put an image. You can add a video from YouTube, or you can add a section. This is for longer items where you might have longer quiz, although you might want to add a section that says short answer, or a section that says multiple choice, vocabulary, or something like that. You might want to add that so you can use that there. Now, import questions will import from other quizzes, you notice. It will not import from just a random test that you may have. That is a limitation of Google Forms. So you're not going to be able to take a custom-made quiz in a Google Docs or in Word or in a test-making program. But if you have a previous quiz, you could import one of those questions. So let's see how we can assign a multiple choice question. I click Add Question, and then when I add a question, I have a variety of choices. Let's start at the top. Short answer is intended to be a word or two in answer, very short answer. Paragraph is what we would consider anything from 1 or 2 or 3 sentences all the way to an entire essay that we would grade. That's paragraph. Multiple choices, there's one correct answer. Check boxes, there could be a variety of answers. Drop down is just that, it will drop down those. A scale is this is more useful if you're collecting opinions, 1 to 5 scale. A multiple choice grid could be used if you have, say, words and definitions. So I could put my words on the left, I could put my definitions on the right. The benefit of this one is that Google Forms will grade it for you. A checkbox grid, if you want them to check all that apply, it works just like checkboxes. So you can put those items on there. You can also include a question that has, if you are in history and you have month, day, and year questions, you can include a date question. If you want to have a time question, I don't see where we would use those much. I use short answer, paragraph, multiple choice or checkbox, and on occasion a multiple choice grid. So I'm going to go with one of the more common options here. I'm going to click multiple choice. I'm going to ask a question from Hamlet. Who does Hamlet's mother marry? Because we learned this in the first act, who she marries. Who does Hamlet's mother marry? Does she marry Claudius? Does she marry Polonius? Does she marry Laertes? Does she marry Rosencrantz? So those are some options. Now that's the question itself. I like to check the required box so students don't miss answering a question, or they're not allowed to skip answering a question, especially multiple choice. They can make a guess even if they don't know. And then if you want Google Forms to grade it, which is the point of setting up a quiz, you have to click on Answer Key. When you click on Answer Key, you have to assign it a point value, which is up to you as a teacher. And then you have to select the correct answer so that Google Forms can grade it. And you have to select Done. So that's how to set up a basic multiple choice question. Let's set up a short answer question so you can see how that works. I would select plus, and then it automatically defaults to the last kind of question I use. So I would click on multiple choice, short answer, and my question would be something like, what kind of play is Hamlet? And my students would know because I have reviewed comedy and tragedy. And so they would know, and I would leave that blank right there. But I would also click required because I think they should know this. And then I would click answer key, and I would assign a point value to this. And then I can put a correct answer. And I can tell Google Forms to mark all other answers incorrect. So if you give them a word that they should know and they spell it correctly, if spelling counts in your class, then this is a way to do that. If you'd like to grade it yourself, you don't check this box. So I'm going to check that box, and I'm going to click Done. And that is how you set up the questions in the Google Forms quiz.